news. It's James Kalm, your half-assed reporter, the guy on the bike. We are on West 8th Street in Greenwich Village. I'm going to try to pop in to the world-famous New York Studio School and look at an exhibition of the work of James Castle titled People, Places, and Things. Well, I saw the invitations and the advertisements for this show, and I diddled around and didn't make it over here until today, which is the last day of the show, and this is probably about the last half an hour of the show. We'll start here. This is untitled. Friend's kitchen stove on found paper. Four and a half by 6. It's also untitled Row of Friends, Figures in Landscape. Well, I'm not going to give you the titles of all of these because we would be here for the next 2 hours. James Castle is a very interesting artist, and well, back about 1,000 years ago, I was from Idaho myself, and actually my brother lives in Boise, not that far away from, I believe it was Garden Valley, Garden City, some little town like that, about 20 miles northeast of Boise that James was from. Okay, this is untitled 5 Figures, and I like the way he's got a little string attached at the top there you could hang the piece from. Anyway, James was deaf and dumb, and I think his father ran maybe a little general store and post office. 3 figures. This is one of the interesting ones where he's got some color in there. And, well, he never learned to speak or read or write, so his language, I guess, was these, the drawings. This is nice. We get a chance to see where the image originated. I kept a collection. I also heard that he gets some kind of abstract forms related to figures, and these are dealing with postage stamps and postcards that he somehow metaphorically used those forms to create his people. One of the other wonderful things about his work is that a lot of this is on found paper, old milk cartons or ice cream cartons, and one of his most popular mediums was soot and spit. I'll read a little bit from the press release. This exhibition, drawn from the James Castle collection and the archive LP and the William Louis Dreyfus Foundation, Inc., surveys a wide range of Castle's themes, well-known monochrome farmyards and interiors, less familiar portraits of houses and machines, and groups of people, often employing color, plus some of his enigmatic books, whose meanings remain mysterious, and other ephemera, most notably some of the rarely seen sources for castles revealing and breadth and depth of his many modes of working from the poetic. Most revealing, in many ways, is seeing the artist's copies of photographs, advertising images, and comic book frames with his sources. The comparison offers us a privileged glimpse into the thinking of a potent but ultimately enigmatic master, and that was written by the curator, Karen Wilkin. This is untitled. Found paper 5 1/4 by 2 3/4. Well, a lot of this is small, probably under 12 inches on the side. I've always been fascinated thinking about how sophisticated his drawing is, and how you would get that kind of knowledge of rendering and depicting forms and even perspective if you can't understand language. I like this. Actually, there's a couple of pieces here. This looks like a shirt, and it's probably made from an old paper bag or a flour sack, maybe. And here's another one. Wonderful color. It is kind of fascinating to see how he presents some of these objects. There's almost a pop art quality to his interest in things. This is titled Untitled Landscape Abstraction. 3 3/8 by 4 3/4 on found paper, and I like it. It says colors of unknown origin. So that brings up a lot of possibilities. It's a nice picture of a truck, and it looks like it's on the inside of some kind of box that was unfolded. It's a covered wagon. On paper and color of unknown origin. Okay. Well, I guess in the last month or so, we visited the Outsider Art Fair. Last week we went and saw the Melvin Way show at Andrew Edlin. Maybe 3 days ago, I was at Rico Moresca and saw the George Widner show. It's also untitled. Looks like a little wagon in a farmyard. And well, I guess it says a lot about the fact that outsiders are now being considered more interesting, more relevant to the what could I say, commercial or the official visual arts community. This is a nice piece. This is untitled Landscape with Columnar Forms. Yeah, and again, there's an almost bizarre association with classic painting, neoclassic painting. Maybe some of the romanticists. Also, we've got Herbert Bear's Honey Vanilla Ice Cream. Well, this is actually very interesting. So we've got his little books, and I was talking about the fact that his father was a postmaster in a tiny little town, and well, these portraits, they do look like postage stamps, and that's nice. They've got a little example of one of his pens in his soot. Oh, it's got a nice little box of tools. And again, this is one of the reasons I love outsider art, is that it's not about how many people you can have working for you, how big your paintings can be, how much paint you can use, how many other technological advances in machines and computers you can use. It's all about the spirit, the beautiful human potential and, well, bizarre ideas. I like this plays, and I wonder if he even understood what that meant. But it's nice that he's got it sewed together. You know, I was thinking Martin Ramirez, another well-known outsider artist, used to make glue out of bread and spit and stuff, and he would glue his pieces together. Oh, this is kind of fun. Looks like a little bear with I don't know, is it a beehive or something? That's about maybe 5 by 7 inches. Okay, this is untitled, House with Green Trees, Abstract. Found paper and color of unknown origins. Well, it's interesting to think about what he would use for his colors. I guess if you're into studying herbs and things, or various kind of plants and berries and things you could pick, and or maybe you just go out and find some kind of strange antifreeze or something that's got a strange tint to it that seems to last. Well, as I said, I'm not going to give you the titles of all these, but we'll take a glance. I'll make some comments. Again, colors of unknown origin. Well, I remember my brother, this is probably 30 years ago, talking about James Castle and the discovery. I guess some gentleman from the East Coast, maybe Philadelphia, New York, was out fishing somewhere in Idaho and was driving through some of the back roads and through the little towns, and somehow came in contact with James Castle's work, and I'm not sure exactly how everything proceeded from there, but he was able to get it into the milieu of the outsider art movement. And, well, as you can see, James was a very prolific artist, and I think that he has kind of achieved a recognition among some of the more elite avant-garde artists and critics of any of the outsiders. And I think it also is it's kind of interesting to think about this work in relationship to art brut and outsider art and naive art and folk art and some of the other classifications. Gee, it looks like a little Aerostream trailer, maybe I'm wrong. And although we don't know what those colors are, there is a very wonderful kind of atmospheric, spatial quality that adds. Also, you know, he's great with kind of distilling down his forms. You know, some of them become very abstract. Like this piece. You know, I could look at this and think, gosh, this was done by someone in Bushwick last week, and it almost looks like dyed paper pulp or something. Very interesting color relationships. Okay, so that's one of the redwood trees with the road through it. Well, we're going to wrap up looking at this piece. Actually, my eye came over to this right when I came through the front door. And this is untitled, standalone picture, found paper and watercolor. I looked at this and, well, I thought of a Richard Diebenkorn painting. I believe this one is about 11 by 7. And, well, it's a great quality with his kind of washes and the cross-hatching there that he builds up his planes with. This has been James Kalm, giving you a rough cut run through of an exhibition by James Castle. James Castle, People, Places, and Things. Here at the world famous New York Studio School. You can leave your ideas, thoughts, comments, suggestions, critiques, reviews below. Please like this and share it. And you can subscribe too. But help me with this, folks. Thank you, Kate.
Train to Power 1 Street, 4 minutes away.
Thank you, Shogo Lee.